Welcome back to the Baltimore FlockCast, the number one Baltimore Ravens podcast in the world. What did I tell you guys? Just have some faith. We were 1-5. I said all we had to do was just catch up to the Steelers. And let's be honest. We can definitely say it now, but back then, you just knew we were a better team and things were going to work out. Fast forward, here we are, present day. What I said happened. We won out. We're now first place in the division. It's beautiful. I don't want to do the victory lap now. I just would like to point it out that we are on the right path. We have made the changes on the field. Kind of offense is still looking a little rough, but regardless, got to keep it up. We'll talk about it more towards the end of the episode, but it's definitely going to come down to that game against Pittsburgh. I think it's December 7th or something like that. Late season game fighting for the division. Big shout out here to Terrell Suggs and Marshall Yanda. Wanted to start it off with them. They are semifinalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Huge stuff. If I had to make a guess, I'm going to say Yanda might get schlubbed a little bit on this. I guess that's the word. Because I don't think they expect to see two Ravens getting in. I guess that's just me not trying to get my hopes up. Don't get me wrong. They both deserve it 100%. Marshall Yanda especially. But I could just see a future where they don't let the both of them in just because, Ravens are never getting the love that they deserve. And linemen as well. But Sizz is definitely a lock. There's no way Sizz does not get into the Hall of Fame. So big shout outs to Terrell Suggs and Marshall Yanda. But man, let's talk about last week. That game defensively was amazing. Offense was rather troublesome. Dre'mont Jones, man, what a dog. This guy, absolutely amazing. He had 1.5 sacks, 4 tackles, and 2 QB hits. And a lot of the time they were double teaming Dre'mont out there. Dre'mont doing exactly what we traded for him. Like, this is why we got Dre'mont. And it's kind of funny because you see a lot of the fans that didn't like the trade just because they didn't know who he was. Now they're coming around like, this Dre'mont guy, he's all right. He ain't too bad. Man, it's crazy how things change, right? Another guy I want to shout out from last week's game, Jordan Stout. This guy, feels weird to shout out a punter, but your team is not doing too well, at least statistically, if the punter is the MVP. But even if we did put up points, this is wild. Like a lot of points, don't get me wrong. But Jordan Stout, 4 punts, average yard per punt, 61 yards. That is insane, especially in a contract year. Because let's just be fully transparent here. Going into this season, there was some question marks about Jordan Stout. He's been a pretty good punter for the most part. But there's been a lot of moments where, just over the course of his career, he's had some shanks. He's put us in rough situations. But man, hats off to the guy. Contract season, he's just playing out of his mind. Had, I would say, the best game of his career last Sunday. So keep it up, Jordan Stout. You're going to get a deal. That's for sure. And I guess we might as well just stay in the specialist room. I'm sure you guys saw it. I'm recording this on Tuesday night. So the news came and gone by now. It was Monday and Tuesday when this came out. But Justin Tucker worked out for a professional football team. It's wild, right? But Justin Tucker did a workout for the New Orleans Saints. I will be honest here. There was, I believe, 6 other kickers being worked out. So it's not like it was just Justin. But it's pretty cool. Maybe I shouldn't say cool, because what the guy did was awful. I take the word cool back, but maybe good for Justin to try to revive his career. Ultimately, he did not get signed by the Saints. The Saints signed Cade York. I don't know if you guys remember him, former Browns kicker. But this just kind of shows that Justin's maybe not as far as away from the game that we thought. I thought there was absolutely no chance that Justin Tucker would ever play football again. But he's already getting a workout not too long after his suspension has ended, which is very surprising. I did see rumors that the Packers were also interested in bringing him in for a workout. So maybe these weren't fake rumors. Let's be honest, a lot of teams need kicker bad and needed kicker bad. So if you're going through a playoff push, or let's say you're in the playoffs and your kicker's just not getting it done, yeah, what the guy did was terrible, but if that can fully cement you getting a ring or just at least take away the stress of a kicker ruining your chances at a Super Bowl, that's a decision that a lot of owners might make. I'll be honest. I'm not saying I necessarily would make that, but it's a thought. That's for sure. As an Alabama fan, I'll tell you, quick side tangent here. Connor Talty, our kicker for Alabama, absolutely terrible. Usually I don't say that about players, but this guy is not good at his job. He's awful. He last week was yelling at the long snapper 2 weeks ago, and then the last game he was getting booed by fans after he missed a 28-yarder. And that just, it really goes to show that having a good kicker can really just change the way you watch and make decisions throughout a football game. Watch as a fan, make decisions for the coach, I'm saying. Because if this guy can't even hit a 28-yarder or a 30-yard kick, you got to go for it almost every time. And if you are trusting him to kick, you're going to feel like you want to vomit. So imagine that times 50. You're trying to lock in a playoff spot or win the division in week 17, and you got a kicker like that. Maybe you do forget about the past things that Tucker might have done. Just throwing it out there. Just saying, guys, it could happen. Let's talk about sad stuff, injuries. We've all been seeing it for weeks. Lamar's hurt bad, very bad. I've never seen him like this. It's weird. People at my work try to ask me what's going on with Lamar. He's banged up. And part of me wants him to just sit out because he's hurt. But at the same time, if Lamar feels that he can go and the trainers say that he can play, he needs to play. It just makes me nervous, man. So the injuries he's going through right now, his hamstring, his knee, his toe, and his ankle. I'm no mathematician, but that's a lot. He missed practice on Monday. It was a rest day, but not a normal rest day because this guy's beat the hell, for being honest. But he practiced today on Tuesday, practiced in full. He's going to be good to go. He's going to play on Thursday. Man, I don't like this. I don't like seeing my guy hurt. It doesn't make me feel good, especially, what was it, when he rolled out of the pocket to the right against the Jets and he just didn't want to run, even though he ended up making the decision to run. I just don't like that at all. I hope that he feels better and is back to 100% soon. Will that be this Thursday? Probably not with this short and quick turnaround. Would not anticipate on seeing the old Lamar playing this weekend. Kyle Hamilton, his shoulder and his ankle both got hurt in the game last week. Another guy that's banged up on a short week. It's a trend here that's not very good. I'm pretty worried about him as well. This is a guy that might actually miss the game on Thursday. We need him really bad because he's the Jesus of our defense, for lack of better words. But it might be the best idea for Kyle Hamilton to sit this one out. The way I think of it, we said this a few weeks ago, that, at least according to me, we could lose 2 more games and make the playoffs still. I don't think the Steelers are going to win out. I'm not saying that we can just coast by and take games off, but Steelers aren't great. All we have to do is win the division. I would prioritize long-term health because we need to win a Super Bowl over just 1 week. We can catch up. And even if we did have Kyle Hamilton or Lamar, let's say both sit out against the Bengals, who says that Tyler Huntley and the gang can't win? It's very possible. Not likely, but it's possible. Travis Jones also was back at practice with his ankle. They all will play on Thursday. They all practice in full. So Rashad Bateman, he was limited on Monday, full practice on Tuesday. They're saying he could be back, but once again, short week. it's just a little iffy when you have a short week. I would say don't get your hopes up. It's looking good, but I don't want to be too optimistic here. I wouldn't expect him to play. Short weeks, recovery never usually works out. Just being fully honest here. Fun news coming back from a recent injury over the past few weeks. We've been seeing that Emery Jones has been practicing with the team. If you guys don't know who that is, that was the tackle we drafted from LSU in the 3rd round. Even Harbaugh said that we could possibly see him rotating in on the offensive line. I know he was a tackle out of college, but I wonder where he's going to rotate in. Probably right guard. 7'7" is shaking in his boots. And you might say, oh, he's a tackle. He's too big. He can't play guard. It's probably not the best example, but Falele, how big is he? 6'7"? Yes, he's not the best lineman in the world, so maybe that's not the best example, but he's not bad because of his size. Definitely would expect to see maybe a few snaps at guard this week, if not the week after. We should be seeing Emery Jones making some appearances for the Ravens. Going off of snaps, I think Keaton Mitchell also desperately needs more carries, more snaps in general. Every time this guy touches the ball, every time he's on the field, he makes a play. Derrick Henry, I love Derrick Henry. He's my guy. But we can't just have the guy out there and just get him beat up all day. I know we have Justice Hill that mixes in as well, but Derrick needs a little bit more of a rest. We got to save him for the playoffs, prioritize health. And let's be honest, when you have that change of pace back come in like Keaton Mitchell, the dude just gets things done. He deserves the playing time. That's no diss against Derrick. If anything, it's to help him. He will probably play better because he's going to get more of a breather. The defense is going to be gassed because they just had Keaton run on him at least 8 yards, I want to see more of Keaton Mitchell. Hopefully the staff agrees with me and we will see Keaton playing a bit more. But we are playing on Thanksgiving, as you guys know. Happy Thanksgiving if you guys are listening to this on Thursday before the game. Let's get into some Ravens Thanksgiving history because we played twice before on Thanksgiving. A lot of you guys probably remember first time we played on Thanksgiving was the classic Harbaugh Bowl. That's back in the day when the Harbs was coaching the 49ers. So John and Jim played each other. It was 2011. And then we also played in 2013 against the Steelers. So the 2013 game against the Steelers, that was the Mike Tomlin incident. I don't know if you guys remember that one. Yeah, the 2011 game against the 49ers, we won 16-6. It's weird. I remember there being so much hype about that game. Maybe it was just the whole Harbaugh Bowl thing and me being 12 years old. But I don't remember the score being 16-6. I thought it was like a great game. I mean, not saying that it wasn't a great game going off just the score here, but kind of sounds like a defensive stinker. But I noted here that we had 9 sacks on Alex Smith, so it looks like we were really coming for his life there on the defensive side. And then 2013, we beat the Steelers 22-20, but for being honest, it should have at least been 29, because this game is famously remembered for the incident where Mike Tomlin stepped on the field, and honestly, he just tried to trip Jacoby Jones during a kick return, changing his path and ending up in Jacoby getting tackled. This easily would have been a touchdown. That's why they fined Mike Tomlin $100,000. I don't know why. I briefly remember being like a 15-yard penalty as well. But when I looked it up, I couldn't really find anything. I just saw the fine. Regardless, it was disgusting. I've never seen a coach literally just interfere with play like that before. I've never been so mad in my life. Took a touchdown off the board. I'm happy we won. It shows you the ball doesn't lie. But we were also supposed to play in 2020 on Thanksgiving against the Steelers, but we know what happened in 2020. COVID. That kind of ruined that game. So instead of playing 3, we've gotten our 2 games that we've actually played on Thanksgiving. We're 2-0. Does the streak continue? Hopefully. I'm going to say, at least my biased, I guess, hope and prediction here is that the streak's going to continue, and it's going to continue hard. And that's only because it's going to be my son Gunner's first birthday. So that alone should warrant the Ravens winning by 50 points, a Jackson 5 from Lamar, 5 rushing and passing. I'm just kidding. That would be pretty cool, but I don't think that's very likely, especially with Lamar being more beat up than a boxer and a bare knuckle. What's it? BKFC. But let's be honest. Let's give an actual prediction here. Joe Burrow's back. We're not going to see Flacco, which kind of sucks. I really was getting excited to see Flacco on Thanksgiving. Another homecoming, another reunion. But regardless, we got Joe Burrow. People are worried. I'm not really worried here. And I'm going to point back to, do you guys remember in preseason why Joe Burrow and a lot of the Bengals starters played in preseason? It's because just about every single year of Joe Burrow's career, he hasn't played in preseason like most starting quarterbacks do. And then the season starts and the team's terrible. They're rusty, nothing's working. That gets me thinking, is the same thing going to happen when he comes back from an injury? Let's say Joe Burrow comes back, same thing as them when they start up in preseason. Chemistry's not there, he's just rusty. Hopefully the same happens here. Because let's be honest, our offense and quarterback is rusty. So we could call this the Rust Bowl. uh, regardless of Joe Burrow's rust here, Jamar Chase and Chase Brown, the Chase boys, they're going to go nuts. It happens every time we play Jamar as well. Maybe this time we can hold him back a little bit. He doesn't have like 200 yards like he normally does, anticipating some of that Burrow rust. But if I had to be a betting man here, if Joe's coming back from an injury, he's rusty, I'm going to anticipate a lot of checkdowns to Chase Brown. So if you're a Chase Brown fantasy owner, man, you're going to be eating in that PPR league. I'll tell you that. I'm a half-point PPR guy myself. But Chase Brown, the checkdowns will definitely be a factor. He's going to be running all over the field. Seems like we always have issues stopping quick little backs with checkdowns as well. But my prediction, I'm going to go with something more conservative because every week I feel like I just say, Ravens are back. Yeah, we've been bad the week before, but the offense is back. We got Lamar. Everything's great. I'm going to cool the Jets a little bit. This is going to be, as I said, the Rust Bowl. Maybe we call this episode that. Who knows? I'm going to go with the Ravens win 27-20. I'm not super confident in this offense, so that's why I'm going to go with something a bit more conservative, below 30 points. Kind of a defensive battle, but at the same time, you still have two of the best quarterbacks of this era battling it out here in a divisional game. Hopefully, this team will start looking like their old selves on offense, and we can just really put it to the Bengals and end their playoff hopes. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Thank you guys for being a part of the flock. Give us 5 stars, like, subscribe. Don't know what's going on with Apple. It said the episode didn't go up on Apple, and then I see it did. Don't even know if this one will. But thank you guys, I guess, for listening to it on Spotify and YouTube as well. We are everywhere. Share it to everyone. Your racist uncle in Dundalk. Appreciate you. We love you. Go Ravens.